Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium on the island of New Providence in Nassau in the Bahamas. We are coming to you live from the opening of the 50th annual CARIFTA Games here in Nassau, and what an amazing day it is. Not just because the weather is great and it's a great time of the year, but because we have come together to celebrate the Caribbean. CARIFTA really is one of those things, probably the most important thing that brings us together. I would say maybe outside of CARICOM, but CARIFTA is a lot more fun. I am joined on this broadcast this afternoon by two esteemed gentlemen who know all about track and field and all about CARIFTA. I'm happy to have with me Ricardo Chambers and Hubert Lawrence. Gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Bahamas.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I feel as if I'm dressed to go to the beach, which is always a wonderful thing. And the food has been magnificent here in the Bahamas, and wherever there's good food, I definitely feel welcome.
Well, I certainly would be remiss if we didn't thank Bahama Handprints for dressing us this afternoon in these lovely pieces. And so you already have a piece of the Bahamas to take back with you.
And more, where
Yes.
this came from.
A lot more. How has it been for you, sir? I know this is your first time here as well. What are you looking forward to?
It's been brilliant. Everyone nice to me everywhere I go, everywhere I turn. Looking forward to the track and field, but to come to the Bahamas for the first time in my life to watch my favorite sport has been a blessing right through from the start to right now.
As I said in the opening, you know, CARIFTA really brings us together. I can tell you from covering many CARICOM events, CARIFTA is way more fun. But it really brings together, I think, the best of the Caribbean in such healthy competition. Like, what do these games really mean for us as a people?
Well, you know what? I've covered many events across the world, from the Youth Olympic Games to the World Championships to the Commonwealth Games. And CARIFTA is always one of my favorite events to come, because you get the Caribbean coming together, not just on the track, but off it as well, in the stands, and you have that unity. Yes, you have that competition, but it's friendly competition. Jamaica against Bahamas, against Trinidad and Tobago, against Barbados, against the rest of the Caribbean. And at the end of the 3 or the 4 days, however long it is, you feel a sense of satisfaction, you feel a sense of pride, you feel a sense of togetherness.
I call it a vibe.
Oh, there you go. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
And that is what CARIFTA means, I think, to the region. It's a big deal.
So we certainly have a wonderful bird's eye view up here from the top of the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, but our Ricky Barry, who's a part of the broadcast, is down on the track. She has a far better view because she's right in on the action. Ricky, give us an idea of where you are and set the scene for the audience this afternoon.
Yes, Jerome. So while you're going to be up there getting that nice view, I'm also going to have a pretty good view from here tomorrow. It's going to be definitely an envious position to be in because I'm right by the finish line. Behind me is the stage tonight. That's where all the action is going to be. That's where we're going to get the likes of Wendy, we're going to get Sammy Star, all performing on that stage tonight. But for right now, people are just trickling in. We're trying to feel what it's going to be like, but it's definitely going to be some excitement here on the track in a moment. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Ricky Barry. Certainly has a great view today. We'll be checking in with her throughout the opening ceremonies today. Now, for the Caribbean, CARIFTA really, you know, is really where our great athletes are born. It's where the great athletes of the region and the world, if I can use the phrase, cut their teeth.
It's a glimpse at the future. You get a chance to see the next group of great Caribbean athletes. So many have come through here before, Usain Bolt among them. You get a chance to all gather together from every country, under 17, under 20, and you're looking towards Paris and 2028 and further into the future to see how they will mature, how they grow, how they'll perform.
And we certainly will be looking forward to see who will be the next group of great athletes coming out of these games. But in preparation for this event, our local organizing committee has been hard at work. Here's a look at what they have been doing to prepare for these games.
Being able to broadcast an event like CARIFTA is essential.
The CARIFTA Games is the #1 junior meet in the world.
A lot of people don't recognize that.
You find persons from all over the world in terms of performances. They all started at the CARIFTA Games level.
Having the capacity to be able to extend coverage, not just from here in the Bahamas and in the region, But we're looking at parts of Latin America, parts of US, parts of Canada.
It's an exciting time, I must say so. It's an exciting time for us as Bahamians to have the 50th edition of the CARIFTA Games held here in the Bahamas.
One of our very early mandates from our CEO was that we should make these games as widely distributed as we could. So that's what we went out and did.
We're inviting them to what we do best, athletics and sports.
We would have come on with partners like SportsMax, Pan Am Sports, who's distributing in Latin America and some parts of the United States.
Bahamas will be ready. Ain't nothing what God can do.
I guess the biggest thing I would have to say is come gold with us.
Certainly a tremendous amount of work going into preparing for these games. Even though the local organizing committee has been busy, the athletes have been preparing themselves as well. I know that both you gentlemen had an opportunity to visit with the athletes yesterday. Tell us about, you know, some of the standouts and some of the things we should be looking for.
Adija Hodge coming here, MVP the last time. That gives you the Austin Celia Award in Kingston last year. Comes here on the back of a very fast 200-meter time. Alana Reid of Jamaica will be her top rival in the girls under 20. The boys 800, big event. Kemario Bygrave, Jamaica, and Cumberbatch of Trinidad and Tobago. He's second last year. Those two, some of the big matchups in CARIFTA50.
Yeah, for sure. And then you talk about Jaden Hibbert in the field, just broke the world indoor under 20 record for the triple jump. Leaves college for a few days to come to the CARIFTA Games. Shows you how important the CARIFTA Games is to these athletes, and he will be looking to better the record he set a year ago in Kingston. But terrific athletes right across the board on the track, in the field. A number of the teams arriving late last night and would have gotten an opportunity to touch the track, which I gather is newly laid, the warm-up track, and would have gotten an opportunity this morning, and I'm sure they can't wait for tomorrow morning when competition begins.
When it really gets off and running. We're going to take our first break. We've got lots more to talk about and even more to show you. Stay with us. You're watching live coverage of the opening ceremonies of the 50th CARIFTA Games from Nassau in the Bahamas.
beneath the coconut trees and the sweltering heat of our native sun, where spikes sink into rubber. And free. This is where heroes are born and legends are made before the Olympic rings, where our bodies are morphed and pushed past our limits. We are limitless. Bare feet, little cousins racing in the street. This is where our islands meet. Wearing our flags on our skin, this is how we knit them together. This is where Usain found his stride, where J. Hugh got his glide, where Shawnee learned how to fly. This is how we soar past the finish line, dive through pools of sand, moonwalk over stilts. This space is our carnival. CARIFTA. This is where they witness the magic of the Caribbean. This is where it began.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the opening ceremonies of the 50th CARIFTA Games from the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Just to give you a bit of history, the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium opened in 2012, and following that we had the 2013 CARIFTA Games, and I think again in 2017 we hosted CARIFTA Games in the stadium. We've also held, I think, 3 World Relays in this stadium, and so it is fit for purpose.
Yeah, and a tribute to one of the great sprinters in Caribbean track history, Olympic finalist in 1964, and from all reports, a fantastic man as well. Came back here and served and inspired people around sport and being what it's like to be Bahamian and Caribbean, so a fitting tribute to the man.
So over the next few days, we are going to see some of our best junior athletes perform on this track. What are some of the things that really, are going through the minds of the athletes right now as they're preparing for the next few days of competition, but also these opening ceremonies? It's a time to show off a bit, but I'm sure they're pretty tense back there right now as they're getting ready to come out.
Well, I tell you what, today is a time to have fun. Today is a time to enjoy the culture, to enjoy Bahamas, to enjoy what is put in front of you for the opening ceremony. After today is out the way, then you start thinking about competition, you start thinking about executing.
Do you really ever stop thinking about it?
well, sometimes you can, and the great Usain Bolt will tell you it's so important to have fun, to enjoy yourself, and that includes in the build-up as well, because what you don't want to become is too tight as a competitor, and sometimes if you start overthinking it, you can become tight, and so it's important to relax through the process and enjoy the process. And when you get on that line, it's game time to go.
Most of the teams all of the teams that come here, are representing their individual countries, and the rivalry that's happening even in the stands among the countries is sometimes phenomenal. I know, I can tell you from experience that Jamaica is going to bring a very large contingent, and they're coming to support. But the support you see amongst these countries is really phenomenal.
And they start friendships here,
yes,
even across teams that last forever. One of the key groups is the group that is coming to run for their country, jump for their country, throw for their country for the first time. Many of them are getting passports for the first time and get used to not just competing for school overseas, but for your country. Opening ceremony, where it focuses on country, rivets that to the ground and makes you understand what it's like to walk up wearing your national colors under your national flag.
Well, just to give you an idea of what's happening right now, we are waiting for the official opening ceremonies to begin. We are a bit delayed. We had a slight, I don't even want to call it a rain delay.
A sprinkle.
In the Bahamas we say spry. So we had a little bit of spry in action going on here. So things are slightly delayed. But we have a star-studded lineup of entertainment for the opening ceremony. So apart from the LOC speeches and the speeches from the government officials that you will hear, our world-famous National Youth Choir will be performing. We will also have a marching band. We'll have Wendy performing. And so quite a great cultural display, and of course a very special surprise at the end. I won't tell you what it is, but if you know about Bahamian culture, you pretty much know what's coming. But this is also an opportunity for the country to celebrate, as we are also celebrating our 50th anniversary in just a few months as a nation. So while these games are celebrating the 50th anniversary, as a country we are celebrating 50 years of independence. So we are in a celebratory mood. So your first trip to the Bahamas is at a perfect time.
I feel blessed to be here. 50 is a big number now because it's 50 for several reasons. CARIFTA 50, Bahamas 50, it's a big day.
And of course, our Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, has arrived in the stadium, and he is taking his place. He has been a great supporter of sports and of these teams, taking time out to come and personally see the teams in some of their practices, and certainly send them some encouraging words. And you know, in a country like ours, and of course like yours, sports is so very important because it is a great equalizer. When we go to the Olympics, when we go to the World Championships, we stand head and shoulders with those other countries, and in many other places we can't, just because of size and so many other things. But really, sports is a great equalizer for us.
And a big advert for Jamaica and the Bahamas and the rest of the Caribbean. And so it's center stage to let people know where we are, who we are. This region very powerful beyond the size.
Yeah, and it's always so important as well that the leadership of any country understands the significance of sport and what it can do for a nation. And clearly, for some time now, that is understood in the Bahamas. The Bahamas has become this wonderful sporting destination. You spoke about the 2 CARIFTA games within the last 10 years here, the 3 World Relays. The World Relays will be coming back here again.
1 second.
It's magnificent.
We want to acknowledge the arrival of our Governor General, His Excellency, the Honorable Cornelius A. Smith, coming into the stadium as well. Again, also showing the support of the government at the highest level for these games. And you would have heard it's now the Governor General's birthday as well. So you hear the applause.
Is he 50?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say a little bit older. If I'm 51, he's just a little bit older. And so I guess at this point, we are going to turn this ceremony now over to the stage for the official opening ceremony.
Now, please welcome to the stage your hosts for the evening, CARIFTA champion, NCAA champion, world champion, Pan Am Games medalist, and Olympic champion, Pauline Davis, along with entertainer Dasque.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for your 50th CARIFTA Games? Quay, don't you want to say good evening to the audience?
Yeah, I can say good evening to the audience, but we need to address some things first.
Issues?
Yeah, let's talk about that introduction. You see how, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't hate on nobody, especially deserving people, but listen to the intro they give you. World champion, CARIFTA champion, Austin Sealy Award, Olympic champion, and they just introduced me as plain old Dasque, like hardcore bun with no no raisin and no seasoning on it, man.
I hear you, Quay, but you might be reading too much into it.
No, I ain't reading too much into it. Everybody deserves their acolytes, all right? They gave you your acolytes, talking about all the medals you win, all your accomplishments. I think I deserve my acolytes too.
I hear you. I think maybe they just lost your bio or something.
That's it. Mr. Announcer, please, when you find my full bio, let me know if you need me to email it to you. Please run the introduction back so that everybody in the Bahamas and the world can see and know all I have done in the world of athleticism and nutrition.
Okay. So now that we have settled that, say good evening to the audience, Quay.
No problem. Good evening, everybody! Especially to our guests around the Caribbean.
Quay, I must say, this is a very fine-looking audience this evening. Everybody give yourself a round of applause.
Oh, yeah.
You all look so beautiful. And you, Quay, you look so dapper and patriotic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you look beautiful yourself. I celebrating all year, Pauline. As you know, this year marks 50th independence for the Bahamas, y'all.
That is right. And this is also the 50th year of CARICOM.
And this is the 50th edition of the CARIFTA Games. So we have golden anniversaries all around. We celebrating a lot.
Yes, this opening celebrates the accomplishments of our athletes, coaches, and officials over the last half century.
Listen to me, we have come a long way. So we are going to get things started off the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our athletes.
The Parade of Country Flags is presented by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Band.
All right, we are now awaiting the arrival of the flags representing the various countries competing here in these 50th CARIFTA Games, accompanied by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Band as they make their way from the eastern side of the track, followed by the presentation of the flags representing all of the countries here at these games.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Anguilla. Antigua and Barbuda. On Midi, Aruba. Barbados. Belize. Please welcome Bermuda. Welcome,
All right, so this is now the parade of the athletes as well. We are well into this, gentlemen. We see here now some of the best and brightest of our junior athletes on this track. Who are some of the standouts and some of the teams we really should be looking out for?
British Virgin Islands, they have Adeja Hodge, the reigning Austin Seeley Award winner. 6 athletes have won back-to-back Austin Seeley Awards. 1982-83, Laverne Eve. 89-90, Kareem Street Thompson. 99-2000, Darrell Brown. 03-04, Usain Bolt. 11-12, you'll know this one, Anthony Strawn. And 2018-2019, Brianna Williams. 2 from Jamaica, 2 from the Bahamas, 1 from Trinidad and Tobago, and 1 from the Cayman Islands. Adeja Hodge has the opportunity to become the 7th.
She's a terrific sprinter. 22.33 indoors for 200 meters. Equals Gwen Torrance in the world all-time. This indoors. A lot of potential. Just turned 17 in March. The sky's the limit for her.
Dominica won a gold medal last year in Kingston in the field. They will be looking to go even better this time around in the Bahamas.
I'm looking at the Barbados contingent. Spoke to them yesterday. They feel a special connection to CARIFTA50 because Austin Seeley is from Barbados. He's a genius sports administrator who came up with a concept. Been running for 50 years. They feel special to be here in the Bahamas.
Grenada.
On the screen, the Jamaicans come in. 80-strong team coming up from Kingston. Got in late last night. Had a shakedown at the warm-up track yesterday. Boy, and in there, Jadon Hibbert, world under-20 triple jump record holder.
The Grenada team, tremendous tradition here at the CARIFTA Games, and in recent years have produced outstanding javelin throwers on the back of Kirana James, who won the Austin Seeley Award.
World champion Alison Peters, of course, twice world champion, no fluke. And in the team, Telesford of Grenada, wanting to score big for them in the javelin this year.
Please welcome Haiti.
So right behind Haiti is the team to beat.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jamaica.
Massive cheer for the Jamaican team, as you would expect. 80-strong member team. And not all members of the team will be part of the opening ceremony. Of course, many of the athletes who are likely to be in action on Saturday's opening day would sit this out. But the ones who do get an opportunity to parade, this is a massive occasion for them. 92 medals for Jamaica in Kingston last year. And the thinking is they will be pushing to better that here in the Bahamas.
Everywhere I go to CARIFTA across the Caribbean, huge support for the Jamaican team. Cayman, Barbados, everywhere, and it's the same here in the Bahamas.
And I can tell you it's not just even in the Caribbean, as I'm sure you know, around the world, wherever the Jamaica team shows up, the support is always huge.
So much star power in the Jamaica squad. Alana Reid will have that terrific head-to-head matchup with Adeja Hodge of the British Virgin Islands over both 100 and 200 meters. I made that the clash of CARIFTA 2023, and I can't recall a clash that would be bigger than that one. 10.92 for Alana Reid, fastest in the world this year at any level. Adeja Hodge, world record holder indoors at 200 meters at 22.3. She has already run a personal best at 100 meters as well. She is a superstar in the making, and that clash is going to be very, very special, and it comes up on the opening day.
The stock of sprinters in the Caribbean women's side is deep. Hodge adds to it. 11.26 this year already, outdoors, and at 200, maybe she's the best in the world.
Boashi and Toomey in the men's 100 went sub-10, only the third junior in the history of our sport to run sub-10 for the 100 meters. Ricky and Russell in the 400 meters will be threatening a long-standing record held by Sanita Sutherland in that event. So a lot of star power, as is usually the case in the Jamaica team. St. Kitts and Nevis,
Trinidad and Tobago.
they come with a relatively young team, St. Kitts and Nevis, but will be looking to pick up a few medals here. Their president, Delwyn Dehaney, has done a tremendous job in recent years to build the sport, to build the program in his country. And when you have produced a world champion in the form of Kim Collins, you know that the quality is there, the talent is there, and it's about putting the system in place to bring the talent to the fore.
That 20 years ago, 2003, Kim winning the 100 meters in Paris, and he's a hero there, inspiring all of those on the islands.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they come with a very good
United
team
States,
as
Virgin
well.
Islands.
Athletes who have real medal potential. Uri Ryan in the long jump for under 20 boys. He will fancy his chances in that event. Not just of getting a medal, but he'll be thinking to himself, this is an opportunity to win a gold medal. Amal Glasgow, who won an under 20 bronze medal last year, back in the 400 meters, this year again at the under 20 level. And Kia Davis, a 100, 200 bronze medalist at the under 17 level. He'll be up for the under 20s this
So
year.
you can hear now, and you can guess what's happening. The Bahamas, the host country, their athletes are entering the stadium.
18 members on this team at home. The first time had a big team like this for several seasons.
Trinidad and Tobago soaking up a lot of the applause, as you can see on your screen, but a lot of the cheers for the home country, the Bahamas, the last to enter the stadium, even though you're looking at Trinidad and Tobago right now. They too with a pretty good team, Trinidad and Tobago, a strong contingent of jumpers especially, I understand, and they will be looking to pick up
of high quality
as well. They'll be looking to pick up a number of medals in those areas.
Their team manager, double CARIFTA champion 2010, world champion Jehu Gordon, spoke to him yesterday. He's very optimistic for this team in 2023.
The U.S. Virgin Islands now on the screen as they parade past.
Had Michelle Smith initially, had it not been for Adeja Hodges' magnificence in Kingston last year, she would have been a serious contender, Michelle Smith, for the Austin Seeley Award. And now the focus turns to the Bahamas.
Of course, as they make their way past the crowds here, the enthusiasm is raised again.
This must feel great to have on your national colors in your home stadium with your countrymen and women hailing you, looking forward to the next 3 days.
As you celebrate your 50th anniversary of independence as well. As I said, this is really a time of celebration.
Yeah, 80 strong, the Bahamas. I think it was important for them to field a full contingent, especially because you're at home, and they have qualified the athletes to do so. And here they are, soaking up all the adoration of the Bahamas.
The last time they topped the stand in the Bahamas, 1984, our hostess today, Pauline Davis Thompson, was on that team, was a star for that team. She spoke to the team this week, and they're feeling revved up, I know it.
So tremendous 1984, because Bahamas and Jamaica finished on 19 gold medals, and Pauline Davis would have had a lot to do with that, with a superhuman ankle leg performance in the 4x4, and Bahamas ended up winning that CARIFTA Games because they had significantly more silver medals than the Jamaicans did.
A bit of history, and she's still here inspiring the Bahamas and the entire Caribbean.
Very important to the sport, and she said to the entire Caribbean.
And when Pauline Davis ran that super anchor at 4x4 in 1984, we were not inside this facility. I say we, I use that loosely. I wasn't born, but we were by what will be used
I remember
as,
it clearly.
Hubert probably does as well. It was by the warm-up facility, which I gather is a newly laid surface. Thought it was quite bouncy when I tested it out yesterday.
Yes.
Feeling good and looking good.
These are the games officials now from the Bahamas who are on screen, who of course will play an integral role in the smooth running of these games and ensuring that the regulations are adhered to. And you know, we had a sort of off-camera conversation just talking about, you know, even in how it's come down to false starts and what that means now, and how the rules are always evolving and changing, and so their jobs are very, very important over the next few days.
We live in a world that's evolving, we live in a world that's changing, and the sport has done that. There are those who agree with the false start rule, there are those who don't. There are those who feel that at particular levels it should be relaxed. There are those who feel that the athletes should learn from as early as possible. But one thing we're certain of, we're going to have fun over the next 3 days.
Now, we have been, as I said, we have a bird's eye view, but our Ricky Barry is right down in the action. Ricky, I must say, you know, I'm a tad bit jealous. You've got the best seat in the house this afternoon.
Absolutely. I knew you were going to be jealous, and I'm so glad I'm out here tonight. Actually, the Bahamas, you can still hear the noise going on, has just passed through with their flag. And I have with me none other than the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg. Can you tell us, what was it like seeing the Bahamas come through? What does it mean to be hosting this 50th Games and the 50th Independence Year?
It's amazing. It's a privilege for us to be able to host this. Nothing in life is a mistake. God had it made and planned out that we will be the country to host it. When we first became the government, it was one of the first things I said to the B3As and to the Prime Minister. We must go after it. Because a matter of fact that we would be celebrating our 50th anniversary. But as you can see, the excitement is in the air from all of the Bahamian people as stay in Bahamas walk past. But you'll get a lot of entertainment, Bahamian entertainment, and much more to come in this opening ceremony. And so those who are watching by television or live stream, stay tuned because excitement is just beginning.
Wonderful. So there's a lot to expect, a lot to go to. We have so much more to go for the rest of the ceremony, but for now I'm going to send it back to you, Jerome, up in the stands.
In just a few moments, we will be back with more of the opening ceremonies of the 50th Annual CARIFTA Games live from Nassau at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Don't go anywhere.
pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal. Steady sunward, though the weather hide the wide and treacherous shoal. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland, till the road you've trod lead unto your God. March on, Bahamaland. March on, Bahamaland. March on, Bahamaland.
Most gracious and holy Father, we give you thanks and praise for the privilege it is to gather for the 50th edition of the CARIFTA Games. We are cognizant that we are linked to the Caribbean with a strong legacy and history that brings us together as a proud Caribbean people. Today we are cognizant that it is you that give talent and ability. Allow this week to be spirited in competition, to be a period where athletes will do their very best. The teams of officials and those that work this CARIFTA game will do and perform at the best of their ability. But God, we ask that you would renew friendships, connect us as people beyond athletics to a place that we will forge friendships for the rest of our life. And at the end of the day, you get the honor and you get the glory. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated for our welcoming song and dance by the National Choir of the Bahamas.
Following the national anthem and the opening prayer, we are now preparing for performance by the world-famous Bahamas National Youth Choir.
Do you remember? Yes, I remember, yeah. Do you remember how it used to be? Remember the old days, them good old happy days. If you remember, then follow me.
Remember when we used to live on the island, life was so carefree.
Remember when we used to scull in dinghy boat and dive in fish and come from out the deep blue sea. Remember when we used to go on the rocks to look for whales and curls.
a welcome. There are 565 registered athletes from all 28 countries competing in 69 name events with over 800 event entrants. CARIFTA is massive undertaking. It takes a strong team to get it done. And it takes strong leadership. It takes time for us to hear from some of the people who have been involved with having assisted with the planning of these games. Please welcome Mr. Harrison Thompson, Chairman of the CARIFTA Local Organizing Committee. He will be followed by our Independent Secretariat, Her Excellency, Lisa Bryce, to bring remarks. Deacon Don DeVoe of Oak Tree Medical Center, our title sponsor, and Mr. Jamico Archer, President of the Bahamas Association of Athletic Association, in that order.
Thank you very much, Pauline. We admonish that in all things we should give thanks. We give thanks to God for allowing us from throughout the NACAC region to gather together under this beautiful sun, blazing sun in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the place where God lives. I wish to acknowledge the presence of our Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius Smith, who celebrates his birthday today. Let's give him a big round of applause. Our Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and his lovely wife, our Chief Justice of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and his lovely wife, our Deputy Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and his lovely wife, the Honorable Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture of the Bahamas and his lovely wife, council members, representatives of the World Athletics, other cabinet ministers and their spouses, Mr. Austin Seeley and Mr. Terry Noel, the two founders of CARIFTA. We want to welcome them here also. Give them a big round of applause. We also want to welcome the president of NACAC and his cabinet, the president of the B3As and his cabinet, the CEO of the local organizing committee and his cabinet, and other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our precious athletes. We want to welcome all of you here this afternoon. I join with the National Youth Choir in welcoming you to this grand event when the Caribbean and the NACAC region come together to celebrate our young athletes. My task is a simple one, a pleasurable one, as chairman of the local organizing committee, to simply say to all of us, welcome to the Golden Jubilee CARIFTA Games, being held on the beautiful shores of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, one of the jewels of the world. You do not have to be reminded of the tremendous amount of work that goes into the hosting of such an event. You do not have to be reminded that, as we say in sports, together everyone achieves more, or teamwork makes the dream work. In saying welcome to all of you this afternoon, it is critical that we acknowledge that the local organizing committee was able to demonstrate, along with the P3As and the NACAC committee, the national teamwork, what national teamwork is all about, and bringing us all here together this afternoon. We do not wish to leave anyone out. I therefore wish to say a heartfelt welcome to one and all who played any part in organizing this event today. The government of the Bahamas, the World Athletics, represented by President, NACAC executives, visiting and local officials, visiting athletes and their team officials, local G team and officials. The Bahamas is known as the G team. So local G team and its officials, medical volunteers, support crew, sponsors, media, security, and all those who work behind the scenes. we say welcome and get ready for the fierce competition from our young athletes who we know would represent their respective countries with pride. Enjoy the best that youth athletics competition in the world. The CARIFTA Games is the best youth athletic competition throughout the world. Welcome everyone and go for gold. We conclude by saying, welcome and thank you to all who responded promptly and generously with their time, talent, and with treasure. Athletes and team officials, if there's anything we can do from the local organizing committee to make your competition more enjoyable and competitive, do not hesitate to bring it to our attention. Once again, I say welcome to one and all. Enjoy the best games in the world, the CARIFTA Games.
So what we are witnessing now is really the official part of the ceremony where the chairman of the LOC, Mr. Harrison Thompson, just brought remarks. He will be followed by Leslie Miller-Bryce.
Our next speaker will be the Independent Secretary, Her Excellency Ambassador Leslie Bryce.
So this secretariat, of course, was established to oversee and organize the events of the 50th anniversary of independence. These CARIFTA Games certainly fit in to all of the events that we are seeing and witnessing and participating in over the next few months leading up to the July 10th 50th anniversary. Again, Ambassador Leslie Bryce.
Protocol having already been established, to the Governor General of the Bahamas, Sir Cornelius Smith, happy birthday to you, sir. Happy, happy birthday. To the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, to the Chief Justice and Mrs. Winder, to the Honorable Mario Boleg, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, to the members of the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, local and regional dignitaries, special guests, our former prime ministers, our viewing audience, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bahamas, good afternoon. As the Bahamas ambassador to CARICOM and a CARIFTA medalist myself, I am delighted to say hello and welcome you to this jubilant celebrations and opening ceremony for CARIFTA. Welcome to the 50th CARIFTA Games and welcome to the Golden Jubilee year for the Bahamas as we celebrate our special 50th. It's truly a golden time to be in the Bahamas, and we are so excited to be sharing a significant milestone with the Caribbean community. I wish to specially say hello and welcome to our athletes, to our local shining stars, and special guests from all around the Caribbean. As young athletes and ambassadors in your own right, you represent for us the best the region has to offer. You are young, dynamic, talented, full of life and excitement. Your commitment to excellence sets the standards for all of us to follow. Your sacrifices are truly inspiring. Athletes, you could have been relaxing and enjoying this time off from school, but here you are, representing your respective countries with passion and pride. Your sportsmanship and professionalism is on full display, and your teamwork and camaraderie shines through. May we all glean from you all over the next few days a spirit of tenacity and unity. Here's to a weekend of cheering on your achievements, supporting your efforts, and celebrating your excellence. Do your best. Show your pride, and remember, as you proudly represent your individual countries, we are all one Caribbean, one community, one people. Welcome.
Please welcome to the stage Dr. Dawn DeVoe of Oak Tree Medical Center, our title sponsor.
Good evening. I rise on the acknowledged protocols and welcome you to the day. we have all anticipated for the past several months. Behold, we are at the starting line, a truly momentous occasion in our history as the Bahamas is in the season of celebration and Thanksgiving. In July, marking our 50th anniversary of independence, the nation's Golden Jubilee. What was once an idea, a dream in the mind of Sir Austin Seeley and company 50 years ago, has built and strengthened relations between Caribbean nations in the Caribbean. Caribbean free trade. Through CARICOM, the track and field movement has grown exponentially, unearthing talented athletic gems and has created a powerhouse in track and field athletes here in the Bahamas and across the Caribbean. It is in this spirit we pay homage to our patriarchs and matriarchs who've paved the way to experience the euphoria of victory which placed us here in the 242 and the Caribbean on the global track and field stage. Look around you. What do you see? I see a strong CARICOM island nations from 28 countries with approximately 600 athletes all coming together to demonstrate the power of purpose, unity, and community. Let's give our athletes a tremendous round of applause. On this track and field, new world record holders, world and Olympic champions will emerge, breaking records and barriers what seems impossible years past. It is here where legends will be made and catapulted into the whole new world of track and field possibilities. On behalf of my beautiful wife, CEO of Oak Tree Medical Center, Christy DeVoe, our 4 children, Kaylee, Kalia, Kaya, Daniel, my family, and the Oak Tree team, we say welcome to this 50th CARIFTA Games. I can personally say it is only by the grace of God and His love that I'm here, that I stand here today. I am the sum total of what is possible when the community rally behind the child, and therefore I remain dedicated to this community. As the title partner, Oak Tree Medical Center proudly supports bright young athletes across this nation and ensuring that they too have access to grow in their sport of choice and the opportunity to compete and win. In this year of Jubilee for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, my wife and I continue to stand with the local organizing committee, the B3As, NACAC, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, and the government of the Bahamas. And I would like to personally thank the Prime Minister for making this happen, for vetting this 50th CARIFTA here in the Bahamas. I salute the parents, coaches, governmental leaders throughout the Caribbean, sponsors, mentors, and partners who believe in these young people and who have sacrificed their time, finances, resources to sow a seed in the life of our future nation builders. Let's give them a round of applause. As we clap and cheer on our country's brightest athletic light, let's remember many of them had to triumph over difficult circumstances to be here today, to be part of their country's team, to wear their flag colors, and indeed is a blessing and sacrifice. I say to each of you amazing, talented young athletes, congratulations for making it here, and you are already here. We are proud of you. At Oak Tree Medical Center, we are more than a medical center. We are a community center. Together we can, together we will. All things are possible. And together, under God, we are one country, one Caribbean, and one CARIFTA. Thank you.
Please welcome Mr. Dramico Archer, President of the Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations.
Hello, Mama CARIFTA. How are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Your Excellency, I hope you're feeling fine as well. As protocol has already been established, I shall proceed. For half of a century, CARIFTA has been a beacon of hope, an inspiration, and a testament to the talent, passion, and resilience of young athletes from across the Caribbean. It has brought together the best of the best, creating a platform for them to showcase their skills, making lifelong friends, and breaking social, economic, and racial barriers in its path. After hosting the Games for 9 times, it is safe to say that this is, in fact, a family reunion here in the Bahamas. Through CARIFTA, we have witnessed firsthand the transformative powers of sport, the way it brings communities together, and the positive impact it's had on our youth. But this anniversary is not just a celebration of past achievements. It is an opportunity to look to the future, rebuild, and inspire. We must continue to invest in our young people, provide them with the resources they need to succeed, and create a culture that values and supports sporting excellence by raising the bar that much higher. On behalf of the people of the Bahamas, I am beaming as I welcome you to my home, your home, our home. Today, I cannot help but reflect on the significance of this event, not just for our region, but for the entire world. On every continent, they are watching us. They are watching us because of our rich legacy of this event, which has produced some of the most notable names in the nation and in the world of track and field. To name a few, we call Usain Bolt, Marie-José Porek, Pauline Davis, Keyshawn Walcott, Anderson Peters, Shawnee Miller-Weibo, Tonic Williams, Keyshawn Strawn, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, and Stephen Gardner. And there are many other legends who validate the expression, small axe, chop down big tree. And as my Jamaican friends would say, we lickle, but we talawa. But as we celebrate our past, we must pause to ask ourselves, where do we go from here? And how do we continue to build up the foundation that we've left behind? And so I urge you to grab the opportunity afforded you today to explode out of the starting blocks and race toward a new frontier of athletic excellence and write your name in athletic history. And long after you're gone, after this sport would have granted you free access to the world, to education, multiple degrees, and a chance for a better life, your families and your country will say, sports build people, and people build nations. I want to take this opportunity to thank the founder of these games, Sir Austin Seeley, and the visionary thinking of Dr. Jesse Noel. CARIFTA is an event that was born out of a small idea to unify our sleepy Caribbean villages through sport. But today, from ideation to 50 years later, it has become a gigantic movement that the world marvels. I also want to express my gratitude to the 28 member federations present for your commitment to sustaining these games, to the regional governments for their financial and material support, and to all of the sponsors who have made this event possible. I want to express my gratitude to my lovely wife, Chiquita, and my two wonderful children, Dylan and Katia. To my B3A's family, including administrators, coaches, parents, athletes, as well as our sponsors. More importantly, the government of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, the National Sports Authority, Oak Tree Medical Center, title partner of the CARIFTA Games, Integrated Securities Concepts, Team Bahamas partner, and others involved in this monumental occasion. I would especially like to thank our apparel and shoe partner, Puma. You make us look all so good, and we are pleased to have them represented here today. I would also like to express my admiration to President Mike Sands for his lifelong body of work in the sport of track and field. From a fairs athlete to a global sports leader, and today you deserve to walk among the Bahamian giants. And to the NACAC family, I thank you for shaping the jurisprudence of our sport, which has impacted the world. To World Athletics, I thank you for many times over for reinventing, innovating, and making the tough calls for the betterment of track and field. To the executive committee of the CARIFTA Games, the local organizing committee, and the NSA staff, in spite of ongoing stadium improvements, we are always our best and look our best, and we couldn't do it without you. I wish to thank the Honorable Minister Mario Bolag for your unwavering dedication to the development of sport and for standing by our side, taking some of our blows and giving back blows. Furthermore, I am immensely grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, our chairman of CARICOM, for bravely upholding the Bahamian tradition of hosting the CARIFTA Games and recognizing the significant role that sport play in the pursuit of Caribbean unity. In no small measure, sport has become the common denominator that unifies even our own country. Additionally, I'd like to commend the Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas, I. Chester Cooper, for his foresight in recognizing that sports tourism is a vital component of our economic development strategy for the future. And to all of the young athletes gathered here today, I want to say to you that you are the now and the future. You are the prized event of these games. You are the event. And it is you that will carry on the legacy that has been built for 50 years. Through this CARIFTA movement, we have demonstrated that the world doesn't belong to some. From Guyana in the south to the Bahamas in the north, it belongs to everyone who wants it. So I urge all of you to take it, live it, and change it. May the identity of this richly blessed region live on forever. Thank you.
Tonight, we have a very special guest who is no stranger to greatness. He is the only man to win Olympic gold twice in the 1500 meters. He is the president of World Athletics, and he's no stranger to us. He's part of our athletic family. Please welcome Lord Sebastian Coe.
I am delighted to be here in the Bahamas for the 50th anniversary of the CARIFTA Games, one of my favourite events on the international athletics calendar. I always say that I would love to export the vibrancy and excitement on show at CARIFTA to athletics events across the globe. I believe the infectious enthusiasm for athletics that is unique to this part of the world is exactly what we need to appeal to a new generation of sports fans. I'm sure that I will see that same spirit in the Bahamas, which will host the CARIFTA Games for the 10th time. The game slogan, "Let's Move Bahamas," captures the community atmosphere that is so synonymous with CARIFTA. My previous visits to the CARIFTA Games have taught me that I can also expect to see an unparalleled display of some of the best young athletic talent in the world, 4 days of competition. As befits one of the best development meets in athletics, many of the young athletes competing here this weekend will go on to become superstars of our sport, with household names like Usain Bolt, Sherry-Ann Fraser-Price, Shawnee Miller-Bubo, Sharika Jackson, Karani James, Kashawn Walcott, Marlene Alty, and Anderson Peters, amongst the past winners and, of course, record holders. All these athletes experienced their first taste of international success at the CARIFTA Games before going on to reach the very heights of our sport, and I look forward to watching the next generation of stars in action over the next few days here in the beautiful Bahamas. It is sure to give us all a taste of what we can expect when we bring our World Athletics Relays back to their spiritual home here in May of next year. To all the competitors who will compete this weekend, I'd encourage you to make the most of what is a truly unique experience in the world of athletics, and I wish you the very best of luck for your competition.